Hey guys, it's me again. This is our 28th time hanging out. Do you guys have something like lucky money where you're from? Over here, during the Lunar New Year, family and relatives give kids red envelopes with money inside. But growing up, the amount I got was always super small. For one thing, I don't have a big extended family, and for another, it's just not the custom around here to give a lot. It's not like other places. I've heard in some regions, kids hit the jackpot, getting thousands of yuan from a single relative. But in my hometown, people usually give around 5 to 10 RMB, and it was even less when I was a kid. A lot of my relatives would literally just give me 1 buck. When I was little, I'd try to stash my New Year's money away in secret. My mom would always pull the classic, "I'll hold on to it for you" trick, which was a total lie. Once the money went into her hands, it was basically gone forever. I remember back in elementary school, we were incredibly broke. All my classmates got an allowance, but I didn't. I didn't even have money to pay for the school breakfast program. Back then, I was living with my grandma, and she never made breakfast. She only cooked lunch and dinner. So if you wanted to eat in the morning, you either had to buy something on the way or pay the school so you could eat at the cafeteria. School started pretty early, around 7 something in the morning, and went straight until noon. Since I didn't have breakfast, I was absolutely starving every single morning. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that kind of hunger. The kind where you feel weak, dizzy, and you're seeing stars. I remember this one time, I was so insanely hungry. I had zero energy, my head was spinning, and my stomach was cramping up into a tight knot. I literally couldn't hold out anymore, so I just slumped over my desk to power through the pain. Honestly, I was terrified of my teachers back then. You weren't supposed to put your head down during class. They'd assume you were sleeping and yell at you. So there I was, slumped over, completely paranoid about getting chewed out. But that day, the teacher didn't yell at me, or even ask what was wrong. Or maybe they did, and I was just too lightheaded to hear them. So, my only wish back then was super simple. I just wanted to eat breakfast. That's when I set my sights on my New Year's money. I actually told my parents that I wanted breakfast and needed the money for the school program. I brought it up over and over, but they just brushed me off. Since there was no food in the morning at my grandma's and I didn't get an allowance, my only source of income was that once a year red envelope. I was desperately hoping to use that money to buy school breakfast. Fast forward 2 years, I finally got to pay for the breakfast program. Yep, you heard that right. I starved for another 2 years. At the time, I only saw my parents about once a week. Every single time I saw my mom, I would beg her, telling her how hungry I was and how I had nothing to eat in the mornings. I pleaded with her for almost 2 years before I finally got to eat breakfast. Hearing this, you might be thinking my parents were awful. How could they let their kid go hungry and refuse to pay for food? But the truth was nowhere near that simple. Years later, my mom brought up what happened back then, and I finally found out that during those exact years, my dad had lost his job, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom looking after the kids, so she couldn't work either. We were practically dead broke. So even my tiny bit of New Year's money had to go toward buying groceries. There was simply no extra money left for my school breakfast. What can I say? I guess everyone has their own silent struggles. Back then, we were all just trying to survive. I was starving at school, while my parents were stressing out about whether we'd even be able to afford food the next day. Sometimes I still wonder why they didn't just tell me the truth, instead of pretending they didn't hear my pleas. Even though I wouldn't have been able to help, at least if I had known what was really going on, I wouldn't have seen them as New Year's money thieves. Instead, I would have seen them as family, going through thick and thin together with me. That's it for today's little story. Thanks so much for listening. I'm a new YouTuber, Ping, and I'll see you guys in the next video.